I'm not here for the glory. I'm not here to win. I'm here to be an athlete.
Of all the sports in the Winter Olympics, skeleton just may be the most dangerous. American champ KatieUhlaender is one of the rare athletes willing to sled head first 90 miles per hour just inches off the ice.
You run 40 meters and you're as explosive and as fast as you can be.
KatieUhlaender, the two-time defending World Cup champion.
You know, your heart's going like 8,000 miles an hour because you just ran as hard as you could, and then you have to breathe and calm yourself down as much as possible. After that, it's relaxed chaos. I like speed, I like heights, I like extreme sports. I just enjoy challenging myself. There's just something about putting yourself in a situation that requires that type of focus.
For Katie, that focus comes naturally. Her father, Ted Uhlaender, played Major League Baseball for 8 seasons and appeared in the 1972 World Series with the Cincinnati Reds.
He raised me with Uhlaender pride, and if you weren't an athlete, you weren't cool.
As she prepared for the 2009 World Cup, Katie received devastating news.
My father had multiple myeloma. It's a cancer of the blood. It gets into your bones. It's not curable. Mentally, it was probably the hardest thing for me to do ever. I wanted to be with my family. I wanted to be with him, and I didn't want to compete. I went home and I asked him, and he basically told me that was horse shit. And he told me it was my responsibility to compete for my country and my team. Yeah, I spoke to him about 45 minutes before he passed. My father's been in and out of the hospital. I talked to him this morning, and then he went back in right after I talked to him, and it's the first time I was like, all right, I gotta live the moment and go for it. I raced that day for him.
KatieUhlaender of the USA hangs on by 3/100ths of a second, moving Hollingsworth back to the bronze position and KatieUhlaender to the silver.
Sad.
After the race, I found out he had passed away while I was racing.
That our friends
His ashes are in this
can't
ball
be
and baseball, and then I have his World Series ring.
today.
He was someone that was a huge influence in my life, and he was a great man.
Following the heartbreaking loss of her father, Katie hit another roadblock on her road to Vancouver.
I was in Vail in April, kind of getting up on my skills on my snowmobile for backcountry riding, and the sled just nose planted a little bit, so I slammed into the cowling, and that hit my knee and shattered it into 7 pieces. I had to have 3 pins, a bunch of wire, and a screw put in. I don't have a kneecap anymore. It's just wire and screws. How's that supposed to work?
I hope you'll take it.
At that time, I was still really bitter towards skeleton for kind of like taking my time for my father, and I was having a really hard time getting out of the funk. When I hurt my knee, it really it snapped me out of it. I was like, okay, I gotta get my priorities straight. I realized that I had to get on my game. I had to train. I had to get my life back in the order it had been in before he got sick.
Despite suffering 2 devastating setbacks, Katie's determined to compete in Vancouver.
Training by my standards probably won't happen this year, but I'm training. My body may not be exactly where I want it to be for the World Cup, but I will be in shape for the Olympics. The one thing I always have had is a heart that never gives up. Thanks, Dad. So, I'll be there.